It worked.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Dark Roast. I am Donna Stroll, and I'm here with the always and ever amazing and talented Rose Short. So,
What up?
today we are going to talk about that thing that pretty much we all, when we get into the online marketing or the affiliate marketing space, is do we want digital or do we want physical products? Right? And
Yes.
each has their own pros and cons. So today we thought we'd just sort of break that down.
Yeah. Now you can, of course, do both. But when you're first starting out, that might be a little daunting. So, super important to break it up and see what's going to work best for you.
Yeah. Because, I mean, it also depends a lot on you personally, right?
Yes.
So you want to start with the physical products?
Yes, absolutely. So, physical products, excuse me, are great because obviously they're tangible, right? You can see them, you can touch them, like you can decide if it's right for you. People easily understand physical value. Makes it really easy to convince someone to buy, especially if they're already familiar with the brand or product category. So you see this a lot with so BeFit is a clothing line that I partnered with, which is fantastic. You also see it with fitness equipment. You see a lot with supplements. What's the Skinny Fit? I think is one of the biggest ones that I see all the time. And again, the nice thing is, you have testimonials from people who have tried it. You can see results in like a physical way versus what could be misconstrued results, right? It's very obvious to see. So those are always great. It's also usually a larger audience that you're talking to because we all buy things, right? We all buy toothpaste, we all buy toothbrushes, we all buy cleaning materials. Like you're not really limited to niche as much as necessarily digital products. So clothes, home goods, tech, you just have a way broader base and a lot of different interests. People still will buy things like that. And then because they're from established brands, you also tend to have a higher trust factor. So if it's something new that Apple just rolled out, right? Like people already know Apple. The people that like Apple really like Apple, so they'll be interested in it. Or Amazon, right? There's a lot of TikTok creators that do Amazon products, like top Amazon finds, Amazon reviews, things like that. Just makes it really easy to sell when you're going to marketplaces like that versus a startup company.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
Yeah. And then, of course, upsell potential is there, right? If they buy the first thing that you're talking about, they're probably going to buy a couple other products as well.
Yeah, and then like it works really well if you have your niche nailed down too, because you can build out your product line. So, if you're golfing, you can start with your something small and build up to like your high-end golf clubs, or you can do reverse, and so that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Cons would be things like lower commission, right? Even when you're selling something that's a high cost, you're usually getting like 5, maybe 10%, right? And so what you're making is a lot smaller, so you have to sell a lot more of it, right? And depending on how you're doing it with your physical products, you also then have to handle like the shipping and handling and the returns, which can be a massive pain in the ass if you're not prepared to do it, right? That's why drop shipping is popular, simply because you don't have to handle the inventory or the returns and stuff like that. You still have to handle the returns in terms of it coming off the money that you've made. So that's something also to be aware of. But if you're open to that, then that's fine. You just have to make sure you factor that all into your business plan. And inventory limitations, right? So if a product sells out, that's it, it's done. Or, there's a backlog or that kind of stuff. And with physical products, you're going to find that a lot of times, right? Especially if something sells really well. You see it on TikTok actually quite a bit. They'll promote something and then all of a sudden it's completely sold out, either in your size, or if it's like some like makeup or something like that, it'll be gone. And then you have to wait for it to come back, and you may or may not have it with that same salesperson So, when it does come back in stock, maybe that commission ends up going to somebody else because they're promoting it and they catch you at the right time for that. So, always have a backup or something like it's a similar product. Because that way, if that one goes out, you can refer them to something else, right? And that's a good way to sort of keep that under wraps for yourself. And also, if you're going to do that, just make sure that whoever you're affiliating for is okay with that, because sometimes you're not allowed to promote a similar product if you're affiliating for them. So something else you have to keep in mind.
Yeah, you can always waitlist stuff too. Like, if it's something that is sold out, you can be like, hey, like, fill this out. This is a waitlist, and when it comes back in stock, you'll be the first to know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that can be beneficial too if you're building out your own email marketing sequence.
Yeah.
But again, like, make sure you're being very open and honest about, I'm going to email you. Is it okay if I email you? Have an unsubscribe link, all that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's some good reasons to do products, especially, like if your mindset is very much a case of, I want to be able to see, feel, touch, then maybe that's going to definitely work better in your favor. But, and also if you are able to think ahead far enough to really know that you're going to have to deal with certain things that you might not necessarily have to deal with in the digital, like shortages and returns and shipping and handling. And, do you want to go to the mailbox or not?
Yeah. Or, do you want to pay shipping for it? Because sometimes it's like, hey, we'll send it to you for free, but you still cover shipping. So be aware that that can still, be a thing. A lot of them will have a posting schedule as well, where it's like, hey, we'll send you this completely for free, but we're expecting this many reviews or this many videos a week and things like that, which we talked about in our contracts episode that we did a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Then the other thing too is, physical products are great for unboxing videos. So, like, I personally don't understand unboxing videos. Like, it's just not what I'm interested in. But there are a lot of people making a lot of good money on YouTube doing unboxing videos.
Yeah.
So, if that's what you want to be into, physical products are great for that. And even with Reels, there's some really fun ways you can do unboxing videos. So, they're great from that perspective of maybe building out other channels, because it's easier to show on multiple channels than like doing a recorded screen walkthrough of a product, a digital product or something like
Right.
that. So,
Yeah. All right. Now, the digital products,
yes.
pros and cons of these. Next up in the other corner. So, one of the pros about digital products is the higher commission, right? So, whether you're selling ebooks or online courses or software as a service or any of that kind of stuff, you could get up to 70% and sometimes even higher for your digital products because they have a low overhead cost, and there's no shipping, there's no manufacturing. It's basically created and then you're just selling what's already in existence. So if you're selling a $200 course at 40%, you're making $80 a sale, right?
Yeah.
Which that is why people tend to gravitate towards the digital, because they're thinking more money, right? And also, there's the nice thing of instant delivery, right? As soon as someone buys it, they get it. Either it's sent to them via email, if it's an ebook, or it's access to a course, or they just immediately have on the next page once they've paid that, and that's been confirmed. It's just automatic information for them to go and log in or download or whatever those things. So it's super quick. And people like that too, right? People like instant. We are very much an instant in the instant world. Please excuse my chair, for whatever reason it's deciding to talk as well. And it's global, right? Because it doesn't really matter where you are. I mean, we were talking about this before we came on. One of the nice things about an online business is it doesn't matter where you are. With physical products, there are some limitations. Shipping, like for me to ship my books and magazines to Canada, is double the cost of me shipping it here. I've had stuff where I've actually had to exclude some overseas because the cost of me shipping a book was 3 times the cost of actually even the retail value of that book. And it's like, I don't want to exclude you, but I have to. Whereas with digital, it doesn't matter, right? You can send it anywhere in the world. It's going to cost you exactly the same, which is super nice. Um, and then it also allows you to maybe get things translated into various languages, so that people around the world can have access to it. So, it's makes it a little bit easier. And then there's the recurring revenue potential, right? Now, that's not to say that physical products don't have that, especially if you're dealing with something like vitamins or makeup or something like, usually personal care tends to be more of the physical. But with this, with digital, it could be access to a course. It could be access to your software as a service. So your hosting plans or your digital agency plans or whatever, which means that you are making that money over and over and over again. And you have clients fall off, you get new clients, so you can really count on that. Where with physical products, that can be a bit more of a challenge.
Yeah.
The cons, on the other hand,
Oh yeah. So big one is trust issues, right? Because so many people have entered the affiliate and digital marketing space since the pandemic. And not all of them were doing it with the best intention, right? Not all of them actually want to help people. They just want to make that money. And so digital products from lesser known creators can really make people hesitate, especially if, the testimonials all sound kind of the same or like look like they're AI created or anything like that. So you definitely want high quality, well reviewed digital products if you're getting into digital products for the first time. And then, of course, it's a smaller market, right? So not everyone's comfortable with digital. Not everyone's comfortable with tech. I mean, I didn't have a smartphone until I became a realtor and had to have one. And I'm fairly young, but I didn't grow up with technology like a lot of my generation did. So it does kind of limit a little bit your reach. So you may have to educate your audience on the value more than with the physical products, which is why edutainment has become such a big field within the social media space as well.
yeah.
And then refund rates. Refund rates tend to be higher just because, again, you do get it instantly. And so you can pretty much instantly see if it's something that you're going to be interested or not. They're easier to return for obvious reasons. And that can impact your earnings. Now, this is also why a lot of commissions don't get paid out until like a net 30 or net 60 type thing. And be upfront in your content about the refund policies to make sure that, you're going to try to help lower those refund rates, but at least give
Yeah, just make sure that your customers are aware of the refund policies and follow through on your refund policies. Don't not do it. We lost Rose there for a second. Good morning, Mustafa.
Hey, hey. Oh, sorry about that.
We appreciate you. Good morning, Kristen and Secondhand Chronicles over on Insta. Thank you so much for stopping by.
So how do you decide, right? So you got to assess your audience. So, who are you reaching? Who are you speaking to? Get in the mindset of your audience. So like, for my ice wellness stuff, like fitness kind of goes hand in hand with that. I could also promote fitness on my marketing channel, but I wouldn't necessarily promote a how to make money online course on my ice wellness channel. So you want to make sure that it stays true to whatever audience you are speaking to.
Yeah, and then also that follows completely with analyzing your niche. Really think about who you're targeting, what kind of niche you're targeting. Because some are definitely going to lend themselves more to the physical products. Like if you're really into cooking, then that's absolutely going to lend itself more to the physical products. Yes, you can sell digital products in the cooking, but really that's going to lend it more to like the things that you're using, the brands that you're using, the tools that like that's definitely going to be a more of a physical thing. Whereas if you're doing coaching or education, or you really like you're more IT related and you like programming and stuff, that might lend itself more to the digital side. So just research. As always, like this is my number one. I love research, right? I could get lost in research forever.
Right.
But once you've decided who your audience is and what you like, then go and look, do some research and see, are these people buying physical products or are they buying digital products? Or maybe they're buying both, but they're leaning more heavily to one or the other, so that you can start there and then build out from there.
Yeah. And that's also where your platform comes key, right? Because what works for YouTube won't necessarily work for Instagram, or what works in a blog might not necessarily work in a video format. And so it's important to analyze like how long a video do you want to be doing, right? If you're going to be doing cooking, like let's go back to cooking because it's an easy one, right? If you're going to be showing someone how to make something, that video is probably going to do better on a long form YouTube or even like the 10-minute TikTok than in a minute and a half.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, also, like, Pinterest is great for people who do recipes, but that's a good way to move them over to your longer form content, right?
Yeah.
So you
Sorry,
just
guys.
have
I'm
to.
having internet issues today, apparently.
That's okay. We can pick up where you drop. It's okay. You know, so figure out what it is you're going to be starting with. If you're going to be doing tutorials or if you're going to be doing education, and how that ties into your product and what's the best platform for that. And again, that's your research, right? You're going to go and see how other people are doing it. Because again, like last week, we talked about, you know, emulating. See what people who are already successful in your field, what they're doing. Are they doing physical or digital? How are they promoting that information? And then, yeah, testing. You take it and you test it. You can try both of them out. You can see which one fits better for you, because while we don't want shiny object syndrome, where you're off chasing the next new big thing, it is important to try different things on and see what actually works for you. When you go shopping and you're going to buy, say you're going to buy a new pair of pants, odds are you're going to at least grab a couple and take a look and go, I don't like this one, or I don't like that style, or whatever, right? You try different things to see what fits best for you. If you're going to do it with your physical life, do it with your business life as well. And the nice thing is that you don't have, because it's online, you don't have to spend a fuck ton of money to do it.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can do this super cheap if you just want to test it out and see how you feel about either one of those options, whether it's the physical or the digital.
Yeah. And your long term goals are going to play a really big role in that. Because, again, like we were talking about before we jumped on, like my long term goal is that my business runs no matter where I'm at, because I'm trying to get to Europe. And when I'm in Europe, I'm going to want to travel Europe. And so I don't want to be tied down to a warehouse somewhere or to a printer where I have to make sure that when orders come in, I can, send those things off to be shipped or something like that. So like my main focus for my own business is digital. Now, I don't mind promoting physical products because they're not mine. So I'm just a middleman. But your long-term goal is going to play a huge, huge, huge factor into that. And just what are you willing to do, right? If you don't want to deal with buying a printer, buying a ship station subscription, doing all the stuff to send it out, then probably don't go into physical products.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, and if you do go into physical products, if that's still you really want that, make sure that you're teaming up with um, an affiliate program where that's not your responsibility,
Yeah.
right? Because yes, you're going to make less by doing that, but at the same time, they're handling all the things that you don't want to handle. So that's, you figure out how much involvement you want, and that's going to directly affect the amount of income that you're making as well.
Yeah. And that's again why I partner with Be Fit, right? Like their clothes are amazing. I love their workout line, but I don't have to worry about shipping it. I just have to look cute in it and show that it's functional.
And that's really all we care about, right?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
and that's where we talk about, the things that you want to focus on. Like for you, the product quality, whether it's physical or digital, it needs to be able to deliver what you're promoting, because it's all going to come back to you, right? You can market great. You can be an amazing marketer and sell them, but if it's crap, you're going to lose that customer. You're going to have high returns. No one's going to recommend it. So, your marketing has to be on par with the quality. Your quality has to be on par with your marketing.
Yeah.
So test it out yourself, right?
Yes.
I see this a lot in the digital marketing field where people sign up for the cheaper version and then they want to go out and market it, but they haven't actually tried the full product that they're trying to sell for a high ticket. So if you're not willing to invest in that product, it makes it a lot harder to convince other people to invest in it as well. And maybe it's not that awesome,
Yeah.
you know?
It's funny you say that because there's an app that I've been using to train that I really, really like. And they do have I don't remember if it's called an ambassador program or a partner program or what, but you can't even apply for it until there is a track record that you have been training with the app for 3 months, specifically to avoid that. And I think that is fantastic.
I think that's really good because, yes, it might feel like you're locking people out, but at the same time, if you really believe in your product, having people who have taken the time to invest in your product and then promote it, um, you're going to have people who really, really strongly believe in what it is that you're selling. Now,
Yeah.
if you're selling $15 products, it's going to be pretty simple for you to be able to test it out and say, yeah, I use this, I like this, and all of that sort of stuff. And for some, especially with physical, they might send it to you to test out. But just I don't just promote everything you get sent.
Yeah.
Because if it's not good, be honest about that. Because I'll tell you, if I'm watching an influencer who's testing products, and if everything they test is amazing, I don't believe a shit. I don't believe a word they say.
Mm-hmm.
If they say, well, you know what, it's not bad, but there's some issues here, there's some issues there, or yeah, no, this did not work for me, and these are why it didn't work for me. I'm much more willing to believe that person over the one that's like, everything's amazing.
Yeah. You can give an honest review of like this didn't work for me, but I can see how it would work for someone else too, right?
Yeah.
Like there's different ways to go about it, and that's why it's important to remember that not all affiliate programs are created equal, which again we talked about in a couple episodes ago. So it might be that they have two similar products, and the one product offers a higher commission, so they're hyping it up a little bit more. But that's again where it's important that you are analyzing what it is that you're potentially going to promote and making sure it's what's best for your audience, not just you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I think that when we start doing online business, we're obviously thinking of ourselves first,
Yeah.
right? I'm sorry, but it's a fact. And that's okay. People don't go on to be entrepreneurs generally, with the idea that I'm just going to give everything. They want some receiving as well. But there's a lot of promises out there of get rich quick, which does pull people in who wouldn't necessarily want to start a business, right? So,
Or know how to
yeah,
run one.
yeah. And so helping, taking that time to do that research and to really figure out how is this going to help the people I'm trying to reach. When you can switch your mindset from how is this going to benefit me to how is this going to benefit my customers, it really helps you in your business. And then there's like the promotions, right? Physical products often have like seasonal promotions and all of those sort of things. So holiday gift guides, color things that you can do. But if you're doing like your home, you can absolutely have very specific things for different, seasons and stuff like that. Flash sales, always, all of those things. Digital doesn't really tend to lend itself to any kind of seasonal promotions. I mean, yes, it can. You can have your Black Friday sales, but or you have your half off sales to get people in, but it's not really a continual process. Like you're going to have, and if something's on sale all the time in digital, then you're like, yeah, you're telling me it's this, but really it's this because it's always on sale.
Mhm.
It's like the businesses that have the going out of business sale, and they've been going out of business for like the last 6 years. No.
Yeah.
So, the promotions are different for each of them. So again, it's like if you are doing physical products, you'll probably want to look at more, at the holidays. That's going to be important. And recognizing that if you're going to be promoting for Christmas, you start now. It
Yeah.
sucks, but it's true,
Yeah.
right? You're always at least 2 months ahead.
Yep. Yeah, and then of course upselling and bundling. This is where you can do physical and digital together. Sometimes upselling is great for digital because it's just so easy to create it. And a lot of times you can just do it as a button and it like automatically charges the card. And that's a great way to up your average order value and all things like that. But you can do the same thing with physical, right? Sometimes what you're promoting for does a like, buy a second product and get 5% off both, and then buy a third
But
product and
wait,
get,
there's more.
yeah, exactly. Um, so like it's a great opportunity. I would say if you're doing digital, be careful with the upsells, especially if you're building out your own funnels, and put a progress bar because I would be rich if I got paid every time I got super frustrated with a funnel of just take me to my product. I don't need all your extra crap because there's 8 pages of upsells and no progress bar.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't. For me with the upsells and the downsells and all, I get it. I 100% get it. But if there's too many, I just get super frustrated.
Yeah.
And so at least if there's a progress bar, or, something that tells me I've got 4 more of these to go through before I get to where I want to go, that's great.
Yeah.
Skip to the end buttons are always nice, but we don't have a lot. They don't generally do that. Every so often
Yeah.
you'll get one, but I mean, so thinking of like a combination upsell, and real again back to cooking. You've got your cooking products, you've got your mixer and all the tools, but then you sell a digital cookbook,
Yeah.
right? That's a good way to have an upsell, that you just do another little add-on, right? So
That's a key theme because I think a lot of people hear upsell and think it needs to be a more expensive product or like a really, really expensive product. And it doesn't. It can be as simple as a $5 download or, you know, a $7, $15, whatever it is. But like, it doesn't have to be like, okay, you just paid 50 for this, but for 150, you get this, right? It can be like, okay, you paid 50 for this, and like this $7 add-on will work really well with it. So
yeah, and a
upsells
lot of
don't
people
have to
will
be
do the
crazy.
$7 and they won't do the $150. So you're actually making money in that process, especially if it's a digital product of your own making. If you're selling physical or whatever, or even if you're not, even if you're selling, like say you're selling an affiliate thing and then you have a digital add-on to it that's specifically yours that you've built out, that's 100% profit, that extra little bit.
Yep.
Right? So that's it. So there you have it. So that's the whole shebang. And in the end, it was a draw,
Yeah.
because it really depends on you, what works best for you, and what your vision of your future for your business is. And it can always evolve. So even if you start in, the red corner, you can move over to the green corner. It really doesn't matter, right? It's really up to you how you want to do it. There's no limitations. It's just be sure that you're really taking the time to research and really choose what works best for you in the beginning and what your needs and wants are.
Yeah.
So next week,
Next week. We decided this, didn't we?
we
Ah,
did.
tools. All the tools.
Yeah, so
That
we're
is
going to
fun.
go and just talk about some of the tools that we use, for our respective businesses and our interests, and some of them will be paid, some of them will be free. But let's just sort of talk about it because I think with people who are just starting out or intermediates and whatnot, um, gathering all those tools in one place can be very daunting. So if we can give you like a quick start on some of the things that we found really useful, we think that might actually be very helpful for you guys.
Yeah, there's a number of tools I have now that I wish I had had when I started.
Yeah, and that's how it goes, right? You start weeding out this and adding in that and stuff like that, because everybody will tell you their tool's the best, right? So,
Yeah.
well,
Well, and they'll also tell you which tools usually that are a subscription because they're getting a cut. So,
yep, yep. I like to use I use a lot of free tools, and honestly, I think that comes from my own personal upbringing and being a single mom for a long time. I was always on a shoestring budget, and it was like if I don't have to pay for it, or if I have to pay a smaller amount for it, I will do that simply because if I need more, I'll figure it out and I will add on at that time. But when you're starting out, things are tough, man.
yeah.
So if you guys found this helpful, please drop a comment, share it, and also subscribe.
Yes. If you're watching this on social medias, you're watching on replay, hashtag replay, please give us some interaction. Let Facebook know that our content is awesome.
Yeah, yeah, and same with the YouTube. If you have any questions or if there's anything specific that you want us to talk about that we have not touched on it, also drop that in the comments because your opinion matters to us and we're doing this for you. So, all right, I think that's it. Happy
I
Friday,
think so.
everyone.
Drink more coffee.
Yes, always. Bye.